Good afternoon, California.
Called out my TV. I'd been working on grading papers for so long that it blended in as background noise, just like it had the past 12 times that it introduced advertisements.
Stay tuned. Next up, you won't believe San Francisco's new trend.
Wouldn't I? I've seen some shit. I chuckled to myself. I'm really too clever. Fucking ah! A jumbled cacophony of noise topped by screeching was rudely emitted from my previously benevolent stereo set. I quickly reached for my remote control and turned the volume way down. After a few moments of my screen being covered in rainbow bars, I was about to change the channel and find a new channel to run in the background as I worked. Then the screen cut to black, and a single word appeared.
Alert.
Alert, huh? Is this one of those mandatory system tests? I hadn't seen one of those in a while, maybe since I was a kid. And aren't they supposed to tell you when it's a test? Whatever. Whatever this was would surely be more interesting than grading the rest of Jenna Martinez's test. Jenna was doing very poorly anyway.
Alert.
The television repeated, this time in a slightly different font, and accompanied by a voice. The voice was male and somewhat distant, as if he was speaking through a walkie-talkie or over some kind of radio.
This message is brought to you by the Department of Defense of the Race.
Came more text, and the voice followed. I'd never heard of such a department. Now I knew this wasn't real. At this point, I would have changed the channel were it not for the fact that I was slightly amused. I chuckled. Whatever this was, it was weird and a little creepy, but at least it had my attention.
This is not a test.
Are they even allowed to do that? Someone down at the broadcasting station is about to get their ass handed to them.
For your safety, all humans are suggested to carry out the following instructions.
My eyes were glued to the screen.
At this time, please secure all entrances to your home. This includes all possible entrances such as doors, windows, and hatches.
The hell? This is one dedicated prank. I wondered if they'd address it on tomorrow's news or try to sweep it under the rug. Probably the latter.
Turn off any and all electronic devices. This includes lights, phones, and this television when our emergency broadcast concludes.
Alright, that's enough. I was starting to get a very weird and ominous vibe from all this. I listened to my gut and pressed the button on my remote that would take me back to whatever channel I was previously watching. I'm not that person that always dies first in horror movies. The screen went black for a moment, as it does when I change the channel, and then...
Turn off any and all electronic devices. This includes lights, phones, and this television when our emergency broadcast concludes.
Shit. I pressed some random numbers on my remote to get to some random channel, anything that wasn't this. 342 black.
Turn off any and all electronic devices. This includes lights, phones, and this television when our emergency broadcast concludes.
Motherfucker. Looks like I'm gonna have to ride this shit out. I put down the remote and waited for my next set of instructions.
Do not look out any windows. Employ all shades and curtains. Cover whatever openings you can. Do not look outside.
I glanced around my living room. My windows were shut and the curtains were already pulled closed. Benefits of being a bit of a shut-in. Not that I was actually concerned. No way, this was real.
Enclose yourself in a room with minimal entryways and windows. Do not respond to anyone or anything outside of your home, no matter who they appear to be.
What is with that wording? Like hell, I'm ignoring my mom if she comes knocking on my door.
Do not attempt to investigate anything you hear outside. Do not leave your home until further announcement.
This was getting to be too much. One more set of instructions and I was gonna call this station and give them a piece of my mind. What is this garbage?
Do not go outside.
I reached for the phone. Just like that, the words disappeared from the screen. For a few moments, I was met with the same screen of colorful bars as I'd seen before the broadcast. Then, it was over. Black. I tried flipping to the other channels. Black, black, black. I decided to give my buddy James a call. I wanted to know if he'd seen the same shit I had. As I reached for my phone once more, I I heard the doorbell ring. Cautiously, I rose and walked to the door. I did so more gingerly than usual because of the broadcast warnings, but I was not about to ignore the doorbell in my own home just because some silly TV prank told me to. I peered out my door's peephole. Had it been this dark out just a minute ago? I suddenly wished I'd paid more attention to that instead of Jenna's abysmal exam. I was greeted by nothing. I could have sworn I'd heard knocking. My eyes scanned once more. My glance swept up and down. And oh, down. There they were. 2 children. 1 boy and 1 girl. They can't have been older than 12 or younger than 8, in my best estimation. Both smiling directly up at me, meeting my eyes with theirs as if they knew exactly where I was. Had I said something and forgotten? They hear me behind the door? On any other day, I'd have opened the door for them right away. I'm not heartless. These are children, after all. If they wanted to sell me some sort of cookie, I'd at least have the decency to answer by politely telling them I'm on a diet. I'm always trying to be on a diet. But today was different. As much as I was ashamed to admit it, I was still chilled from what I'd heard and seen moments before on my TV. Hello? I stuttered, then quickly felt ashamed. These were children. Was I acting scared? Hello? I quickly corrected myself.
Can we come in?
They asked at the same time. I was dumbfounded. This was such a sudden question. Can they? Why? I responded half without thinking. Damned stuttering giving me away. I'll admit it, I was nervous. Was that such a crime? I had 2 kids on my doorstep and no idea what intentions they had.
Relax.
They said, once again, at the same time. It was like they had this shit rehearsed.
We have nowhere to go.
Where are your parents? I asked. I felt like Satan himself for not letting these children take refuge in my home. But at the same time, something was off. I just couldn't. Something felt so wrong.
We don't know. We want to call them. Please let us in.
I noticed at this point that they weren't just saying things at the same time. They were saying things at the exact same time. I've seen my nieces and nephews of similar age try to do the very same thing in their little school plays and fail miserably. The fuck is happening here? Right. We want a phone call. With that, an idea bloomed in my head. Let me go get my phone. Then I'll hand it to you guys, and you can use it right there to call your parents. Just don't run away with it. I've got security cameras. I lied.
No.
Thought I saw something like malice flash in their eyes for a split second.
Please, let us in.
In an instant, my mind went over everything that had gone down in the past 15 minutes. The broadcast, the children, the very illogical logic of it all. I came to a simple conclusion. I am not that person that always dies first in horror movies. No thank you. Try somewhere else. I've got to go. Without waiting for a response, I rapidly turned and ran upstairs and into my room. Didn't even bother with the lights before ducking under the covers and securing myself beneath multiple pillows. Much to my displeasure, I heard muffled banging coming from my front door. This went on for about 5 minutes before relenting. I stayed in fetal position under the covers for about an hour, or until I heard a barely audible
Good evening, California.
from my TV. I steeled myself and got out of bed. I made my way downstairs and, bracing myself, peeked out my front door's peephole once again. Nothing. A delivery truck rolled down the street. The sun was starting to set. I walked into my kitchen, opened up my secret drawer, and began rolling an especially fat joint. This one is going in the vault. No matter how much I smoked, though, I was never able to erase one question from my head. After I told them no, Did I really see the children's eyes go black?